right, we'll get started here quickly. I, as always, have the 3-pound, 5-pound weights out. If you've got something similar, that's what we need. Great. And once you have yourself gathered, come meet me on your mat, a nice wide stance. Welcome yourself to Triple B this morning. If you're taking this on the recording, maybe it's afternoon or evening, but welcome yourself in a big, broad, wide stance. Turn your gaze low or even close the eyes. Have the arms out, legs out. Take up your full, powerful space and a couple of breaths. Place the hands over the body, over belly and chest, and take in a couple more breaths. Allowing the awareness of your breath, your body, this space to be positive and uplifting for this practice and this day. Witnessing what feels good. What helps you out? All right, let's take the arms all the way up to the sky. Open the eyes. Exhale, forward fold right down in between the legs. And shift a bit from side to side, taking the hands to the floor, or the hands can stay up on the thighs. As we switch side to side, a little bit of a lateral lunge here. Bend one knee at a time. And then you hang back to the center. Bend the knees a lot. Turn the toes out so that you're in a sumo squat or a goddess squat. Elbows up to the knees. Just kind of groove the hips a little bit back and forth. Move from elbows into the hands so that you can move the shoulders back and forth. Good. And then stand all the way up. Bring your feet close together. Take the left hand to the sky. Big, big reach and over. Other hand can stay at the hip. I think that's most supportive and easiest. Or you could take it to the wrist and give a little bit more pull. Bring it all the way back to the center. Second side, reach the arm all the way up. Great, and over. We have a lot of core-focused work today, especially in the obliques, through some twisting in the torso. Just give it a good stretch first. And bring it back to the center. Shake everything out a little bit. Make sure your weights are not in your way whatsoever. We're going right into butt kicks. If you have a different substitution for this that works with a little more low impact, feel free to change it up, just marching or something similar. Just starting to get a little bit warm, a little bit lifted. And changing into body weight squats. So feet outer hip distance apart, all the way down, all the way up. So nice full range of motion here. Pretty quick pace while still getting in your full range. Think knees over the second and third toe, chest lifted. Nice squeeze the glute, push the hips forward as you stand each time. Go for just 2 more right here. And into torso rotations. So I want you to take this probably slower than you think. Hands could be at the chest helping you. If you'd rather keep them lower, doesn't matter. Let one heel totally lift. The opposite heel is the direction you're moving towards. So you feel a nice squeeze and twist right into the center of the core. Keep going here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then come stand at the back end of the mat. Reach down, touch your toes, and walk yourself out to plank. As soon as you get to plank, pause for just a moment, and then walk the hands back. Stand all the way up. And go down again. It's like forward fold, through dog pose into plank. You walk it back and stand up, inchworm pose, or inchworm exercise, I should say. We've got 4 total here. We're doing these 4 exercises again from the top to the bottom. So you go back to running. Sometimes I just place the hands over the belly to help feel the energy, feel the strengthening in the core. Imagine a lift from the pelvic floor without too much squeeze. Just right in the middle. All right, body weight squats. We're going down and up. Nice little exhale each time you're at the top. Good. Let's move right into our torso rotations here. Twist from side to side, pick up the opposite heel. So knees, hips feel good for you as well. And change the inchworm. So from the back end of the mat, reach down, touch your toes, walk it out to plank. Walk the hands back to the toes and stand up. I'll see athletes complain about inchworms all the time when the coaches ask them to move through this. It should feel a little bit more familiar to us as yogis. Looks like a bit of the top of our sun salutation. Stay right there at the back end as you stand again. Lift the arms up to the sky this time. Again, hold on to your right wrist and reach over towards the left side. Back to the center, hold on to the opposite wrist and switch your direction. Really good. And then back to the center, just release. Everything gets a little bit of a shake. So we're going to get right into the work from here. Come on down to your mat. We're starting with Russian twist or boxer twist. I'm going to pick up my 5-pound weight. If these are less familiar for you, or if there's any restrictions right now in your low back, I would do this without a weight. We're going to keep our heels on the mat, Flex the feet, point the toes up. It's like a low boat pose to start us out. With the weight high at the chest. I don't want it down here at the hip today. We're gonna start high at the chest and then just twist over your right shoulder for 10. Left shoulder, 9, 8, 7. Purposely going pretty slow here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now drop the weight down more towards waist level and do 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You pick the level of the weight and go faster for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Sit all the way up. I usually need to just fold over the thighs a tiny bit to release those hip flexors. And then we're gonna lie down onto our back. I'm gonna pick up my other 5-pound weight. We're going overhead extension, which is a lat exercise with a sit-up. So the arms are straight up into the air here. Other options are to hold one dumbbell on either end. And you can find the grip and direction that works best for you here. But we're taking the arms overhead, an inch or two above the earth. Keep the arms as straight as you can. That's the lat work. And then the arms come straight up, back to the ceiling. And ready? Sit up all the way up. Come up as tall as you can. Arms are still to the sky. All right, let's find a little bit of rhythm with this. Lower back down. Overhead pull, up to the sky. Add your sit-up. Now on that sit-up, name of the game is trying to keep the arms, the weights exactly in the same place. We've got 10 in a row here. So this was 3. About 2 counts back, 2 counts up. For the overhead extension, this is 4. Good old sit-ups, working more transverse rectus abdominis, right down the center front. 6. 7. Of course, using lighter weight or no weight at all. If you're working on healthy range and flexibility in the shoulders without the extra resistance. You're still getting plenty of work in. 2 more here. And last sit up for this round. And then set the weights down, nice and careful to the side. Lie back down. Penguin or heel taps here. So weights are out of the way, not needed for this round. Lift your head and shoulders, tuck your chin, look towards your belly button, and tap, single taps first, right, left, just side to side. And then switch to double taps, right, left, right, left. Keep the double taps going. Shoulders, head stay off the mat the entire time. And we go back to the single taps, quick, side to side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it all the way down. Hug your knees into the chest. Give them a little pull right there. And then rock yourself all the way up to a seated position and turn over to all fours. This is the last in this little circuit that we're doing. I want to show you what it is first. It's going to be a scorpion tail and a straight push up towards the sky. You could do this with no weight at all, or grab your lighter weight. Mine's the 3 pound. Squeeze it into the crease of the knee. And you've got to make sure that you're holding on to that weight. And we're going up 20 times on the first leg. Nice strengthening in the glute and through that stability in the low back. Little pulses straight up with or without the weight. About 20 times. And then you'll lower the leg down, carefully transfer the weight if you're using it, and go into your other side. Set it first and then pulse up, up, up. Never wanting to drop lower than that set point. Always just looking to pulse higher here. And lower the leg all the way down. Nicely done. Take the weight away. We'll transition to stand up. So we'll see that core set come back in a moment. And as you stand up, pick up your heavier weight, back end of the mat, weight right at the chest height. I'm holding either side. Step the right foot forward into a long lunge. You get to choose. Back knee down for more stability or up. And we're rotating here towards the right side. 1. And back to the center. You're going 5 times on the same side. 2. Really emphasizing keep the weight close to your chest. Rotate from below the navel all the way up to the crown of the head. So that back knee can definitely be down for more stability. Okay, and then when you come back to the center, this is a hard part too, and it's working lower abdominal. You have to step back. I usually don't make it in one step. Just step back, back, back until both feet come together. That's going to work the pelvic floor nice, steady. Second side, step the left foot forward. Find your hold point. We're not in a rush here. And then slowly rotate 5 times towards the left, trying to keep the weight in the same place. It's the entire upper half of the body trying to move together. If you're working with that back knee up, you're obviously doing some extra balance and stabilization work. Make sure it still feels okay in the knees. And after 5 rotations there, you're going to try to step that left foot all the way back to your right. Get it all the way in there. We're going back to the first side so that we get 10 rotations in on each leg. Step it out. If you did knee up before, maybe try placing it down or vice versa, just to see how that brings a little bit of difference. Witness and notice how you're working. Variations, modifications, not just because you need to, but to help us open new avenues through the exercise as well. If the back knee is down, of course, you got to lift it up. And let's try that step back. And into the second side, left foot comes forward. Slow twist and rotation. Point of this is working, kind of wringing out the core. So I notice when I have that back knee down, I can fully concentrate there. And that's pretty nice. Step it all the way back. All right, just working out the tension here, a few curls. And then we're going into triceps. So this is gonna go straight up overhead. Now I'm still holding on the 5-pound weight. It's pretty light. You're gonna see this a few more times. And so you'll know as you come back into these if you want to change out the weight. Probably next time around, I'll pick up the other 5-pound. More like in the sit-ups, and hold one weight in each hand. This helps to get really good alignment going. Squeeze the elbows in towards the midline so they're not flared out to the side. We're trying to stop the weight about the height of your elbows, not going all the way down. So no to this, yes to this. 2 more wherever you are. If you pick up a heavier weight, I promise I'll count us back into it better. Go to the chest and set the weight all the way down. Giving us just a moment, a couple of breaths. Then we're going to go back into the lunge series a second time. And we'll go a little tiny bit quicker this time. I'm actually going to try, I can safely hold both weights at the same time just to get a little bit more resistance in. Feel free to be creative with what you're holding on to. And let's step in, right foot forward into the lunge, back knee down or up. 5 rotations, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Step it back. We're splitting these up 5 and 5 so that you get the opportunity to work that step back 2 times on each set. Yeah, I like that extra resistance. Back to the first side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Rebounded myself right off the mat. Second side. Twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step it back. Into the bicep curl to work it out a bit here. And then our tricep work straight overhead. Again, I've changed to hold 1 in each hand, which means I'll get to really see how individually right and left side is working. It's a nice challenge up. We've got 10 to go here. This is 3, 10 total. 4, little bend in the knees. Make sure you're staying toned in the abs. 5. Even though we've got some arms, some legs in the mix, everything we're doing is to concentrate on stabilizing and giving a little bit of shred to the core today. This should be last one. Carefully set them down. Quick plank hold series. Step down to the mat. Full plank, hands on the mat, shoulders right over the line of the back of the wrist. your holding plank. Start with your feet together. Squeeze the heels in, squeeze the glutes. Lengthen the tailbone, look a little bit forward. Trying to keep everything as still as possible, but we're gonna walk our feet. We're gonna take our feet wide and then back together. Wide apart, back together. You can start with the opposite foot each time. So if you go right, left, then it's left, right. Keep marching like this. Try to keep your hips as square as possible, not leaning side to side with it. One more march out and in. Take the knees down to reset, down onto your forearms. Hands can clasp together to make that more doable, or stay shoulder distance apart, palms down on the mat. Walk the knees back and keep them down, or walk the feet back and lift the knees up. You're holding your low plank here. My tendency is definitely to want to round in the upper back and shoulders and look more towards the feet. If you notice yourself doing that, just nice and slow gaze back towards the hands instead of your feet. And we're almost done here. We've just got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees down. Take a quick little child's pose. And I want you to switch all the way to sit down onto your bottom. All right, remember those Russian twists that we started with? We're back to it. Hold resistance as you wish. Start with the weight higher up at the chest. If you really want to kick this up a notch, feet can come off of the ground. Sometimes I like to cross an ankle over. They just stay a little locked in here. And we're going slow. Weight stays at the chest. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the weight down lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Faster for 10. Wait wherever you want it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set the soles of your feet down into our overhead extension with the sit-up. Find the weights in the way that you want to hold and go into that first extension. We're trying to keep the bend out of the elbows, just a tiny little, almost imperceptible bend there. Come all the way up in your sit-up. Try to control both the rise and the descent. I always visualize someone holding my feet down, like in gym class back in elementary school. To make it easier to come into the sit-up. Nice, done. Keep going. That long overhead pull, so good. For strengthening, toning in the lats. Think of the wings of your back. I know the arms will want to sort of give you a little bit of momentum to sit up. Try to keep the arms just straight up the whole time. A little bit of struggle happens. It's all right. We're looking for 10 here. I've got one more. And then setting the weights down, going into our penguin or heel taps. Another modification for penguin, I say lift your head and shoulders, but a modification is to keep the head and shoulders down and to reach side to side. Yes, they'll have to lift a tiny bit and kind of glide, but you don't have to lift as high. The other modification, if the head and neck feel really heavy, but you do want to be lifted, is to come like halfway up. And it's the notion of reaching towards those heels. Keep going. Change to your double taps. That pretty high lift of head and shoulders up, but getting into the heel taps helps to really emphasize the work in the obliques, sides of the waistline. Go back to your single taps. And then release it all down. Hug your knees into your chest for a moment. Good little squeeze. Sit up, turn over onto all fours. You lock the lighter weight behind the knee. Or forego it. Lift straight up. If any of you have ankle weights, when I do a longer sort of bar Pilates focused practice, I'll just put the ankle weights on, and then you don't have to worry about changing anything out or dropping anything. Change it on over to the other side. These are quick here, just 20 straight up. Little tiny pulses. Okay, and we release it all the way down. Stand up. This is going by quickly. We've got one more exercise set. I have a 3 and a 5 pound weight. These are my absolute favorites. You can think of it like triangle pose. So set up your triangle pose with the left toes turned out and the right toes straight ahead. And you should have about 3/4 of the width of your usual triangle pose in the legs. So a little bit more narrow than usual. If you have one weight that's heavier, hold that in your left hand, the bottom arm, and then set it low about mid-calf. Look up towards the sky and take the lighter hand, which has either a light weight or no weight, straight up to the sky. I want you to look up at that top hand the entire time. Even as your torso starts to move up and down, you're trying to keep the arm in the exact same place, just higher and lower, like an elevator. This is a pretty wide-legged windmill pose. Join me if you haven't already. And we're looking for 10 here. Look up at that top hand the whole time, not only because it's holding something heavy, but it helps with the overall alignment of this pose. Nice strong lift in the base of the pelvic floor. Pull up. This is legs and core. Also, obviously, shoulders. It's all about the obliques. Bring the hands back to the waist one at a time, and then switch your feet. And remember to switch your weight if you've got something heavier down low. Set your bottom weight. 2 straight legs like in triangle. Set the top weight. And then lift and lower 10 times. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully bring the weights back, switch the feet. We're going right into the first side again. Again, switch the weights, heavier weight in the bottom. Feel free, if you're dropping a weight, drop the top arm. The top arm also could stay right here at the waist the entire time. If that helps keep you in the game. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switching over. If I'm a little faster or slower than you, totally fine. Remember, this is 10 here. Set your bottom stance first, weight about mid-calf. Come all the way upright each time for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, don't turn me off, but we've got one more. Switch back to your first side. Take that transition slow. Give yourself a couple of breaths. Aim for 10 if you need to do more like 6 or 8. That is yours to notice, to take in. You always want to follow the path that works best for you. Okay, up to 10 here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch it on over. When your sides feel a little sore tomorrow, you can thank these windmills and all the work that we've built into you, but specifically these here. It's a big exercise. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, nicely done. Set your weights down completely out of your way. We're going to get low on the mat. No weights for this last couple of minutes. Hold the hands together, keep the heels on the ground. Do a few slow rotations. So we're going to do a modified version of that ab circuit. For this third one, cool down abs, if that's such a thing. Hold behind your knees. Sit up really tall. Pull the chest in. Keep the hands either there or stretch up towards the sky. And then as slowly as you can, roll down onto your mat. Keep the arms straight up. Do one overhead extension. Reach the arms way long. Take the arms to reach straight back up towards the sky. And as slowly as you can, roll up. And slowly roll down. Arms overhead. Now stretch the feet out nice and long. Pull your knees into your chest. Rotate both legs over towards the right side. Open up the hands into a T shape. Bring the knees up and over to the other side. Back into the center. Rock up to a seated position. Turn over to all fours. Stretch the right leg straight back behind you. Cross it over to the left side. Look over the left shoulder to see your right foot. And bring that same right leg all the way, knee towards the chest, and step through into a lunge. Hands to the front thigh so you can just let the weight sit low into the hip here. Stretch out the hip flexor. Left hand can reach up a little bit over to help emphasize that even more. As you release, we'll switch to the lunge first on the second side. So left foot can just come forward, hands up to the front thigh. Let your hips kind of sink down and low. Last minute here. Again, right hand can come up and reach a bit over if you'd like. And then we need to swing that your left foot all the way back. Cross it over and look over the right shoulder. And coming to a close here by just sitting back on your heels, torso upright. Feel free to be in a kneeling position. Instead, turn your gaze soft or close the eyes and just take in a few breaths here. Giving yourself so much gratitude for taking the time to move your body in a healthy, fulfilling way. And I hope the rest of your day has benefited from this movement. Thank you, friends.